Is your fear causing you to be stuck, procrastinate, overeat, or hide under the covers? Well, then you are in the right place. This podcast, Break Fear, Find Your Freedom, is about people just like you. Interview people who have found their freedom and shed some fear. Some of them are still finding their freedom, but they are ordinary people. So, sit back, grab your cup of coffee or your running shoes, and let the fun begin. Oh, by the way, to the end, we have some fun, exciting competition just for you. So I'm really excited to show you the way. Come in, listen, and let's share the fun. Hello everybody. Today I've got a really, really cool guest that you are going to love. Jordan Richter. And he's got a beautiful product called Tarife Attar. It's perfumes, but it's more than just perfumes. But I'll let Jordan tell you all about it. Hey Jordan, how are you today?
Hi Carina, how are you? How's it going?
I'm great, thanks. So Jordan, first of all, tell me a bit about who Jordan is so that our listeners know who you are, and then tell us a bit about your awesome product.
Well, who Jordan is? Well, I grew up originally in Miami, Florida, now residing in California. I'm a father, I'm into skateboarding, I'm into perfume and into writing, reading, and learning. Tarife Attar, the product that I created, the brand, is sort of a passion that I've had for a long time. I've been into fragrance for about 25 years and just love fragrance, and I love brand creation, and I love to bring unique products to people that speak differently than I think what is out there. At least I try to distinguish myself with something unique and bring some unique value to the marketplace. And so with Tarife Attar, it's really sort of my own brainchild of a conglomerate of what I've experienced over the years of unique fragrances that are imported from all over the world, from India, from Thailand, from Malaysia, from the Arab countries, from France, and etc. And mixing that with what I've learned from branding, from my skateboarding career, and branding from just observing what's out in the world and in the marketplace. So, and Tarife Attar is really the goal behind it is to take the customer or the client on a unique experience and a unique journey of the senses, with fragrance and with the aesthetics and with the feel.
Oh, it sounds exciting, but I'd just like to ask you one question really. It's how did you decide on fragrance? It's beautiful, right? But how does someone fall into that kind of business product?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't really know exactly how to answer that one, but I think it started when 25 years ago I had met some people that were traveling from overseas, and they were just here traveling and visiting different people, and they were on a spiritual retreat, if you will, and a sabbatical, and they smelled a certain way that was truly unique and different than what I've ever smelled before. And typically growing up, when you think about scent, as far as I remembered, was like Polo, Ralph Lauren, Eternity,
Yeah.
The alcohol perfume sprays. The concept of natural oils was somewhat only connected to like patchouli or, you know, sort of a hippie smell. And this was something different. You know, this was a fragrance that was not like anything I've ever smelled before. And it was kingly, it was majestic, it was sort of royal, and it had a very rich, opulent, luxurious distinguishment from whatever else I've smelled. So that was primarily what attracted me to that. And how I really got into it was I started selling. I had quit skateboarding at the time. I had a spiritual transformation, and I left the skateboard industry, which was the way I was earning money at the time. And I started opening up stores, little stores, and pop-up shops back then, you would call them, at flea markets, and selling in the street, and walking up to people and saying, hey, try this. You know, back then you could do that. You could walk up to someone on the street and sort of, you know, street vendor them right there on the spot. And I would, you know, which is a really hard sale to walk up to someone cold in the street and be like, hey, I want to check this out and buy it. And worked on just trying to do that, and which was very difficult. And I had some success in it, but not a lot. And over the years, I just started to, you know, go in and out of that whole process of, I would start these brands. I had many brands, little sort of brands that would really just represent a name and a business card, or any real branding. And I kind of dipped my foot in and dip my foot out. But I had Sunati, I had Soulful Sense, I had Sakara. These are all the different sort of brands.
Yeah.
Noor Sense, I think, was the first brand I had, which meant light. And so Tarife Attar is the culmination of all that, and that's how I got into it, was really just by trial and error, and yeah, I mean, it was a long journey, but that was sort of the all of it was what I have now is a byproduct of all of that, if that makes sense.
Yes, well, that makes it fun, because all the complexity obviously then shows up in your product. Tell me a bit about Tarife Attar, the name. How did you get to that?
Well, Tarife Attar means, the word Tarif means rare, and the word Attar means perfume. It also means apothecary. So it could also mean alchemist. So I got the name originally from, I was reading the book by Paulo Coelho, which is the book The Alchemist.
I love it.
And inside the book, there's a mention of the city called Tarifa, in which Santiago, the subject of the story, he launches his journey. So it just kind of made sense to me. It had a really exotic sort of feel to it, and when I looked at the name and what it meant, and it sort of all came together one day. I was like, yeah, Tarifa it's in Attar kind of went together, and really it was this idea of the journey beginning at a place. And I felt no more beautiful place than Spain, because Spain, you know, from my own religious beliefs and spiritual connection to Spain, and the whole sort of empire of Andalusia, and that whole sort of romantic, I just really worked well with fragrance, I felt, and it had a really nice jump off point for people who first got in contact with the brand. And that was so Tarife Attar really means rare fragrance.
But of course, it's not just fragrance, right? It's much more than just fragrance.
Yeah, it's not, and we're still working on that. But yeah, as time goes on, I'm realizing it has a lot to do with my journey, and in a way, and it has a lot to do with individual's journey, more importantly, and it has a lot to do with as far as products are concerned, it's perfume, or it's fragrance, it's incense, we're going to segue into lifestyle brand, a lifestyle brand. So we're thinking about clothing, and so and then there's a whole personal care line it's what we're aspiring to sort of become, which is this thing. But that right now it is fragrance alone with a few incense offerings.
I love that, and I have to say, I love your hat.
Thank you.
It's really cool, and if that's what your yes, it shows your style and your uniqueness. Very cool.
Appreciate it.
So I wanted to ask you, a bit about fear. This is what the podcast's about, right? And I'm throwing it right in because fear is such a broad term. I mean, it could mean anything from fear of spiders to fear of death or whatever it is. And what it does for you, it keeps us stuck, and sometimes even worse. Where have you experienced something like that in your life? I'm sure you've experienced a lot of times. And how have you come out of it?
Yeah, I mean, I think I experience fear in some form every day. There's fear that I experience fear all the time, but I think I want to define, my thing is I have a tendency to want to define fear. I want to understand what it is I'm actually scared of. That's how I first begin to sort of, re-emerge or emerge out of what I'm fearful of, or at least be able to face it, So I think first is defining what it is you're scared of, and really starting to ask questions about it, self-talk, and really understanding what it is. And the unknown fear is the greatest fear, because when you don't know what you're scared of, it just perpetuates and it mutates into something that's almost sometimes unbridled. You have to first define it.
And how do you do that? Because a lot of times you don't know what it is. Sometimes you just can't put your hand on it. And then what do you do?
Well, I think that there's certain indicators that would let a person know what they're actually fearing, and that, for example, a fear could be, it could be a desire for someone to be, like, I use a general idea of, or a general fear that everyone has, is public speaking, right? It's like, people are just scared to get up, and then we'll have to ask the questions, why? Well, maybe it's because they're scared of being judged, or they're scared of people are not going to like it, or people are not going to, or maybe they're just unprepared, or they don't know what to talk about, or whatever the case may be, or they feel that the process is just going to be too painful. So I think in those ways, a person can know sort of what they're sort of fearing is, but then the indicator that they fear that would be that they opt out, or they opt for some, like, as Stephen Pressfield calls, a shadow career. It sort of resembles something of what you initially intended on doing, but it's not actually the thing that you should be doing.
Yeah.
It's like, you should be public speaking, but you're opting out for, say, I don't know, could be some form of writing or podcasting, or something that doesn't involve you actually showing your face and being in front of people, which is fine, but it's still not what you intended on doing.
Okay, I love that. So now I'm going to put it back to you. So at some point in your life, did you overcome whatever that was that kept you stuck? And how did you find your freedom? Or are you still searching?
No, I feel I'm getting there, every day a little bit better in some regards. I mean, I fall back and and then you get back up. That's the thing, is it's a constant struggle.
Yeah.
Don't think that you overcome fear. You manage fear. You know, you don't. If you talk to like a motorcycle or extreme sports person or whatever who's into, you know, skateboarding, where there's a definite like consequence. There's something on the line, right? Where your physical or even life is in danger.
Yes.
But that you never ever lose sight of, because it's real. It's in front of you. Not, you know, to lose sight of it is to become reckless, and to lose sight of it is to actually put yourself in jeopardy. So the way it really is about it, to look at it, is to manage it. And by managing it, we're talking about asking the right questions and really whittling down to the heart of the matter, which is, what am I really scared of? And okay, if it's that specific thing that I am scared of, well, let's look at that and explore that individually and understand it better, so I can move through that. But you don't overcome it. You manage it and you move through it, being aware of what it is. Obviously, going inside a cage with a lion is a legitimate fear, you know, because no one does that. Except someone who knows the lion and who's trained to do so. But getting up and speaking in front of people is something that can be overcome, because millions of people have already overcome it. So why are you scared of it? That is the question that needs to be explored.
Okay. That's great. Thank you. So you're saying that you overcome fear every single day. So every single day you'll find a little bit of freedom out of from overcoming that fear, right? Or is it something else?
Yeah, I mean, you're every day you're faced with the option, right, to move forward on something. I mean, I'm still not launching my funnel. I know I need to. I'm going in and I'm changing things, and but there's real things that are there that I need to fix. It's not that so I've overcome a part of the fear, which was sign up for this thing, you know, called ClickFunnels, and I've overcome another fear, which is to start writing. Another thing was to take the pictures and to put the content in, you know, and to build it. And so I've come up all the way up to the point where there's a few more things I need to do, and then I need to just ship it, launch it, do it.
Yes.
And so that, again, I mean, if you've already come that far, then you've overcome, and you're doing it.
Yes.
But it's an everyday decision that has to be made in the minute, you know, on the hour, on the day.
True.
But it shouldn't be, it becomes like unbridled and unmanaged when, you know, it becomes an fear unreasonably controls you to where it handicaps you and it prevents you from moving forward. And you know that when you're not doing anything, and then by default you become paralyzed. Yes. Like my son yesterday, we were on an obstacle course, and it's suspended at like 10 to 12 feet above the ground, and you're connected to a harness, so you can't fall. You will be caught even if you fall off the obstacle course.
Yeah.
But it's still scary. So I'm there, and I'm in the harness, and my son is in the harness, and we're going across this sort of part of the obstacle course. It's just the beginning, and it's quite scary. I mean, I was a little scared, because if we fall, you know, you feel like you're gonna fall, but you forget you're in a harness. My son is crying, you know, and he doesn't want to go across. And so I'm coaching him along the way. And he's crying the whole time. And mom is down there looking up, and she's cheering him on, but he's crying. And he's not wanting to finish it. He wants to get off.
Yes.
And in that point, I had to grab him and I had to help him across. And even I'm barely like holding on, you know? but we made it, and he got off, and he cried and he was scared. He didn't finish it, but he was scared, but we congratulated him and we were done. And the thing is that but he had something that still he finished some of it. Yes. He did a part of it, but he couldn't have done that without me. So that's sort of the moral in a lot of ways, like fear helping us through a part of it. So what happens is next time he might feel compelled to do it without my help on that part of the obstacle course.
Maybe.
And so that is also what it's like with fear. You need a support group, and you need people there by your side at times to tell you it's okay. And that's why mentors are there, and that's why programs are there, and that's why support is there. So looking at other people doing it is also a way that we get through the fear every day.
Yes. So that was my next question. So you actually answered it. So it would be easier if you have someone to hold your hand, right? And to guide you along the way. Sometimes that's all you need to take you to the next level and overcome it.
People are there that are going through the same thing you are, or have gone through it, and who know the route, who know the path, and know the road. You know a road that has murders and bandits and really bad things on it, scorpions, dangerous animals. Well, you need a guide that sort of has the shield to take you on that road and let you understand the environment first. Now, once you know it, then you can go on your own.
Thank you. I love that. So you supported your son. I was just about to ask you, what advice would you give your son? So what did you tell your son after besides celebrating, and because it was a great feat for him, right, to cross that bridge? How did you convince him to do it in the first place? And what would you have told him differently?
At that point, because he's a young child, I'm thinking for him, and I'm putting things in his mind.
Yes.
That are concrete, that he can grab onto, which are ideas. And I'm just telling him, you're brave, you're not scared. Even though I'm laughing because it's like, it's not true. He is scared.
And so were you.
And so was I.
But you did it.
I'm scared, and I'm not brave in that moment. Well, I mean, the word that is a really sort of a misnomer. Bravery is really in the moment. It truly is in the moment. So you're brave when you're actually doing the thing. You're not brave. You cease to be brave when you stop. So every step forward is an act of bravery, in a sense, right? So when I say you're brave, every step, when we took every step, I would say you're brave. Or I would say you're not scared. Because we are taking a step towards, as you would say, the freedom, which is to move through and to arrive on the other side of the obstacle, right?
Yes.
So I just tell him what he needs to hear in the moment.
Yes.
To get him through. It's not a time for advice. It's a time to give him. You don't sit down with someone when you're on a tightrope.
No.
You move through, and you move through with something that's going to drive them to the other side.
So again, what happens is we create this crazy fear within our minds a lot of times before we even enter a situation, and then terrified and we can't continue the situation. So you really did the best thing and just carried him along. You made him do it, but you supported him, which is what we all need, I think, at some point.
Yeah, and it takes that one person, I mean, in this case, I'm the father, obviously I have to do it, but it takes that one person in society, or a leader in any, it right now in this whole COVID era, it really does take the one person to stand up and say, you know what, this is stupid. This is ridiculous. We're acting idiotic right now.
Yeah, it's a whole different conversation. Yeah.
You know, we all know we're being lied to. So let's stop the bullshit.
Yeah.
And that for someone to say that, a light bulb goes off in some minds, and some minds it doesn't. Some minds is like, well, how dare you? Well, then that's fine, go. But not everyone thinks like you think.
Exactly, and you have
everyone is going to let this paralyze them. And so that is sort of where it all and what happens is what rises to the top is a group of very brave people. And then it helps lift up the ones that previously were on the fence.
Yes.
So even the ones that were like, how dare you, eventually do come around. Slowly.
Yes. So I think, now's the time really to help each other and to support each other and just pick each other up and say, hey, people, just look around you and see what's happening. It's all a bit strange.
But not everyone will do it. And I don't want to sound harsh about the ones that won't, but you have to take a principled stand and understand that not everyone will. And it's not a judgment thing or a downing them, but it's a protection against, you got to protect yourself against the weakest link so that the weakest link eventually can get reconnected, if that makes sense. Because they don't know what they don't know that they're being harmed.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know, and they don't know, and you've just got to accept that. You can talk and you can support as much as you can, but sometimes you need to walk away, which is also another whole different conversation. Okay, so on that note, Jordan, where can people find your beautiful fragrance and your beautiful products?
Well, they could first follow us on Instagram at Tarife Attar as spelled TARIFEATTAR. And then there's .com, is tarifeattar.com as spelled. And then our Etsy shop, they can search it and they can Google just the name, and they can find us on Etsy. But I'll be sending. We'll do we agreed on doing a little contest or a giveaway at least of some sort.
Yes.
So we will make sure that we get that out to the lucky winner. And but yeah, they could find us through those mediums.
Okay, so let me yes, we're doing a contest, and for the person who shares the most and shares the fun and shares the experience, and of course listens and shares your interview. So what would you offer the winner, Jordan?
Well, we were thinking we have four bottles I would send out of our best sellers. So we have our honey oud, our Granada amber, we have a gardenia, and I think we have a Egyptian musk would be some of our top sellers. So we'd send those out, and it's almost like it's like $100 or $150 value from our store. So that we would send them, and these are fragrances that they can use all the time or they can gift them to someone as a gift. So we'll send some bags, extra little bags with it, so they can, if something doesn't jive with them, then they can send it off as a gift to someone they love.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you. And I think that's always the easiest way for someone to actually experience the product and experience the beauty and I think the opulence would be a way to describe it, because it's very opulent and rich. So it's really cool. So everybody go out, check out the contest, and join the contest and share, and then just experience this beautiful product.
Thank you.
And now you know a little bit about Jordan, and we will do a follow-up interview, Jordan.
Let's do that.
just because we have to. We just touched on so many things, and there's so many other things that we can discuss and just talk about. So one more thing, Jordan, before we go, what change do you want to be in the world? What change do you want to be in the world?
Well, that's a good question. No, I don't know if I think about it from the outside. I'm more looking in myself, not to sound like a narcissist. That's because I do think that if you really want the change to happen, you really need to. So I would say I would like myself and others to look at what's possible for the ideas that you have about yourself and what you could be, the principles and the values that you know to be true, that how you should be living your life. And for some reason you went away from those principles, or you went away from those beliefs, or you went away from that, sort of, as they say, you lost yourself along the way somewhere. To go back and find that person that that you should be, and to have the courage that we talk about to actually start living that person. So I guess the change would be to see people and to see us all rise up out of servitude and to start living truly who we are, free from ridiculous fears. And stop being relegated to just consumer robots, and be real human beings that love and touch and feel and smile and laugh and sneeze and cough and slobber and and have principles and morals and who are real, touchable, feelable, normal, happy, birthing, cackling, slobbering human beings.
And that is beautiful. And how can we get to that?
Yeah, again, that's why I say it starts with us as individuals. We have to practice it publicly, and we have to do it, move towards that more and more. I think that we're, they're going to quote unquote reopen, right, on June 15th. But what if they yank the chain again? What are we going to do? Because they might do that again.
We don't know. And
so prepare for the chain yanking is all I can say.
But I think for me, it's just, yes, do the work, meditate and breathe, and try not to have this outside craziness influence you too much, right?
There's a reality to one thing, and I'll leave you with something, because I should get off because my laptop will die soon. I do feel that there's there's a reality that that it is a very touchy subject, but I don't want to sugarcoat things. We have to realize that our life and everything that happens around us, sickness, health, honor, disgrace, wealth, poverty, good times, bad times, all of these conditions that are descending down on us in our world, in our personal life, and on mankind as a whole, are all conditions that God is sending down, according to what we as human beings, individually and collectively, send up. We send roses, beautiful things, we're going to get roses and beautiful things sent back down.
Exactly.
We send up filth and dirt, we're going to get the same sent back down. So there's a causality to our existence. What we're sending up to our Creator is what we're going to get in return.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the way for us to stop the hell that's being heaped upon us, which is really a mercy, because it's a call back to our nature. We can't continue to do bad things and expect a different result. And so we have to change the way we do things on a personal level. We can't, a man can't keep doing destructive things. He can't keep lying, cheating. He can't keep lying and cheating to his wife. And his wife can't keep on lying and cheating with him and expect there to be peace and harmony within the family. And that's the same way that applies to every aspect of society. That would be the closing, message would be that, and for me as a reminder for myself, I'm not saying this as a thing that I'm above this. I'm saying that this is something that we all are struggling through. And we have to pick up the pieces and resolve back to morals and principles. And we have to draw lines and say that this is what I stand for. I will not watch this destructive thing. I will not do these destructive things because I have principles. And when we do these, we start doing good things and righteous things and acting as a human being with principle and not falling for these traps and tricks by the marketer.
Yes.
Then we can rise above. Ironically, because we're some of us are marketers, right? but ethical marketers is the key.
Well, this has been a very good marketing exercise. So we won't go back. We won't go there. Just on that note. So, Jordan, on that beautiful note, that we'll have to continue this conversation, right? And I know you've got another meeting and you have to go to it. So just tell us a bit where our listeners can find you, and then we'll call it.
Yeah, just reach out to us at on our Instagram. Might be the easiest and most convenient way for most people nowadays. Just at Tarife Attar on our Instagram. And if you feel so inclined to go and Google us, you can find us on Etsy, Tarife Attar. You can search us there, or you can go to our website. And what I'll do is I'll send the funnel to you. You can send the funnel out maybe in an email, which would be the free gift.
Yes.
And,
well, the winner will.
And the winner will get. But we could send it to outside of the gift to the winner, the regular email list. Maybe they can be sent the general gift offer, which is a free bottle of the honey oud. But we're going to send out to our list anyways, just to get people to use it.
Okay, that'll be very cool. Thank you so much, Jordan. This has been really, really cool. I've loved this conversation. And like I said, we will chat soon. And good luck with everything, and we'll chat soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Thank you, Carina. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Jordan. Bye.
Thank you, Jordan. That was a fun conversation, and I'm looking forward to more of these conversations in the future. And thank you so much for listening till the end. I am so honored that you have done so. And as promised, let me tell you a bit about the prizes for the contest. As you heard, Jordan is offering a 4 of his very best-selling attars, and this is a delicious experience just on its own. You'll want to win that. That's for the first prize. The second prize is a coaching session from me, which is a break fear coaching session. So we'll just join together and discover the blessings within your fear, or what's keeping you stuck. And that's a transformative, exciting experience on its own. And then we have a surprise prize, which you will see at the end of the contest. So enjoy this contest, have fun. All the details are in the show notes, and share the fun and help each other to grow and learn and make this world a beautiful place. Have an awesome day. I'm looking forward and excited to see who wins these beautiful prizes within 2 weeks. The contest will run for 2 weeks. However, we do have another awesome guest next week. So thank you. Thank you again for being here, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.